It's Ash from SuperVideos back for another video for Fear the Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at a scene that was in the post-credit of the mid-season finale for the final season, Season 8, Episode 6, which was called All I See Is Red. Particularly, we're talking about the scene where we have a mysterious character apparently hunting down Madison and crew. Now, it has been more or less confirmed that this mysterious character is actually Troy Otto, who obviously many fans remember from past seasons of Fear. Now, in this video, we're going to be breaking down the post-credit scene, and I'm going to explain Troy's return, and also we're going to talk about the Easter eggs that were there in the post-credit. So stay tuned, we'll be right back to break these down. Alright, as always, before we dive into it, smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. With that said, let's dive right into it. Now, like I said, it's been more or less confirmed that the character that we saw, the mysterious character I should say, is actually Troy. So, in this video, we're not really trying to prove that it's Troy. We're more or less trying to put together how Troy's return is going to come together based on the post-credit scene. And we're also going to talk about some of the scenes that Troy was actually in the trailer for the second half. It was subtle, he was not really in your face, but he was definitely there. So let's step back a little bit. We're talking about the post-credit scene where we actually see someone listening to Madison's voice on the radio, where she's pretty much talking about people who have been hurt by Padre. Obviously, at the end of Season 8, Episode 6, Madison told everyone that she plans to find the parents of all of the kids that were at Padre, and as part of that, she's putting out these messages to try to find the parents. Now, of course, we do have Madison telling the coordinates of where they are on the radio, and we actually see someone jotting that down. Now, obviously, let's assume that it's Troy because it's very likely that it is Troy, even though it's not officially confirmed, it's more or less confirmed. So Troy is jotting down Madison's coordinates, which means that he's probably thinking about returning and seeking revenge for what Madison did. Now, we'll talk about what Madison did in a little bit for those who may not remember, but we do see a map which actually has places on the map of every main location that the characters, Madison included, have traveled through in the United States. So we obviously see that Troy has been hunting them down for a long time. Most likely from the moment that they thought that he was dead and they left him for dead. Now, let's step back a little bit and talk about what happened to Troy. Obviously, the last time we saw Troy was at the dam location back in like Season 3. And the last thing that we saw is actually Madison hitting Troy across the head with her hammer, her infamous hammer. Remember the hammer? That'll come back in a little bit. But we do also know that after Troy was hit in the head, he fell into some sort of a pit, and then there was a massive flood right afterwards at the dam. And what likely happened is that he was washed out by the water and he survived. We know some of our characters who we saw later survived in a similar way. So obviously, that's probably how Troy survived. Or that's probably how they're going to explain it. How realistic is it? If it wasn't the hit to the head, it would have been realistic. But because of the hit to the head, I feel like that's a lot less realistic. But let's assume that it's realistic just for the sake of this video. So that's pretty much how Troy survived. And now, all these years later, he is hunting down Madison and trying to seek revenge for what Madison did to him and his family. In fact, in the trailer of the second half, we do see Madison, a very angry Madison with a hammer in hand, attacking someone. Now, obviously, we see Danny Salazar and Strand there, and some others are pointing a gun towards someone, the person that Madison is about to attack. Strand is holding Madison back, but we do see Madison is trying to kill this guy with the hammer, and Strand is trying to stop her. Now, obviously, that is her infamous hammer. That's the hammer that she used to hit Troy in the head all those years ago. And obviously, from this angle, the person that Madison is attacking does look like it could be Troy. So that's definitely a big sign that Madison could be trying to finish the job and kill Troy once and for all. Now, with that, let's talk about the Easter eggs that we had in the post credit scene. Obviously, after they showed the radio and the map, they also showed a few items. One of them is this sunglasses. Now, obviously, we know that Strand has almost identical sunglasses. So it's definitely very likely that Troy found those sunglasses on his journey to find Madison and kept the artifact. The other item that we see is a hammer, probably the same hammer that Madison owned, the same one that she used to hit Troy across the head at the dam, and probably the same hammer that she's gonna use again to attack Troy. Now, one other thing is if you remember when Troy was hit in the head, his ear was like missing. Now, the ear that was missing when Troy was hit in the head with the hammer at the dam was his left ear. And of course, as you can see, the person appears to be missing his left ear. So that definitely lines up in terms of what happened to Troy and the possibility of this being Troy. The other artifact that was there that he had in his possession was a sort of mechanical bone like arm. And obviously, for fans of Fear the Walking Dead, you can recognize this pretty easily as being Alicia's arm. Of course, after Alicia was bit, she cut off her arm and built herself this mechanical arm with bones, her own bones. So this is definitely Alicia's arm that Troy is carrying. Now, if you're asking why is he keeping that, well, we know that Troy and Alicia had some sort of back and forth. Not a relationship, but some sort of back and forth. Troy's brother was actually in a romantic relationship with Alicia. So it makes sense why Madison and Alicia would be of importance to Troy in terms of wanting to seek revenge from them. Now, for Strand particularly, I don't know why. I can't really remember if there was any direct conflict between them, but it's likely that there was something that I just don't remember or something that was there in the background. So, what I'm trying to get at is Troy is not only seeking revenge from Madison, but also Troy is seeking revenge or trying to seek revenge from Alicia and Strand. Now, the number one person is obviously Madison, but Alicia might also be on his hit list. Obviously, Alicia is not here, so that is not going to be satisfied in his perspective, but Strand is there. So I'm assuming that there's going to be some sort of back and forth between them as well. It's also likely that it's not that, and he's just finding the items that he recognizes, and it's not like he's keeping these items because he's trying to seek revenge from these people who own these items. But that's pretty much everything I wanted to go through in this video. Again, at this point, it's very, very likely that Troy will return, and we're going to see some sort of conflict between Troy and Madison again, and Troy is going to try to seek revenge for what Madison did, and we know that there's going to be some sort of battle between the two groups, Troy's group, if he's part of a group, which I'm assuming he is, and Madison's group. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all comes together and how connected that is to the Padre story. I have a feeling they're still going to connect things to Padre in some way, shape, or form, but I could be wrong. They could just have this be a brand new story on its own, not connected to Padre in any way. But with that said, I'm definitely intrigued to know your thoughts and opinions, so share that in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this, smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.